It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Monday, the 3rd of November. I'm Michael Groff. With the exception of a weak weather system coming through today, which will bring some increase in clouds and some light breezes at times, the overall weather pattern across the Southwest not changing very much, at least through the rest of this week and heading into the weekend. However, just beyond that 7 to 10 day period, we do see signs of a pattern change coming toward the western United States, and that could spell much cooler temperatures and chances of precipitation. What does that mean for us? We'll talk about it and so much more as we dive on in and discuss. First, the almanac from yesterday. 91 degrees was the afternoon high for your Sunday after a morning low of 61. 83 and 59 are the averages for this time of year. We were still several degrees shy of that record high of 96 degrees, fortunately. Outside now at 6:15 a.m., we've got mostly clear sky. There are a few clouds moving on in, though. We're sitting at 64 degrees at Sky Harbor, dew points at 41, relative humidity 42%. The winds are light, and the barometer is rising. Satellite picture out here across the west. We put this in motion. You can see there's a little short wave that's coming at us from the west. And yes, some mid and high level clouds associated with that will stream across the area, especially central and northern Arizona today and this evening. But other than that, no real sensible weather impacts from this feature. I suppose after it passes by, temps will be down a couple of degrees tomorrow. But high pressure will remain the dominant feature for us through this week and this upcoming weekend. The watch warning map is very quiet across the country right now. No real high impact events. Yeah, some fog over parts of the southeast, the Tennessee Valley, and some precipitation heading into the Pacific Northwest, but nothing really earth-shattering going on right now. Convective outlook for today. Not only do we not expect any organized areas of severe weather, not even a single rumble of thunder to be heard across the contiguous U.S. for today. The tropics and the Atlantic Basin, extremely quiet. The Atlantic, Caribbean, Gulf of Mexico, no signs of any trouble out here for the next 7 days. Hurricane season does run through the end of November, however, so can't quite let our guard down just yet, but it sure looks like things are going to be quiet for a while. Same thing in the East Pacific. That little wave we had yesterday, the day before, that is fizzling out, so we don't see any signs of tropical development here either. Here's the precipitation outlook valid through Monday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix, nothing. Statewide, zippo. Region-wide, not much to be found. However, just beyond this period, signs of that pattern change are looming out there, and we're going to talk about that right now and everything else as we get to the models, see what the future may hold. Here we go. This is the GFS. It's the 06Z run. This is valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. The upper look at 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet up. High pressure not only here across the Southwest, but much of the United States right now. Other than the Pacific Northwest and the Northeast, where a little bit of unsettled weather is going on, most of the nation is pretty quiet. And so what it means for us down to the surface for the rest of the day today, yes, a weak little short wave is coming through, so we'll see some clouds. We'll call it partly sunny in Phoenix. High temperatures this afternoon will top out in the mid to upper 80s, and that is certainly above seasonal averages, but nothing record-breaking. And a lot of clouds really across much of central and northern Arizona today, with a few clouds for the southern southeastern portions. For tonight, the sky is partly cloudy. Overnight lows mainly in the mid-50s in the cool spots, low to mid-60s in the urban core. And tomorrow, the clouds will roll on out of here. We'll call it sunny once again with high temperatures anywhere from the mid-80s to about 90. Basically the same story on Wednesday. Sunny sky, high temperatures topping out in the mid-80s to near 90 degrees for the lower deserts. Generally in the 60s to low 70s in the high country there, up around Flagstaff and the Grand Canyon, a little bit warmer than that and along the rim. And any precipitation will be confined to the Pacific Northwest, and the main storm track will stay to the north of us. And that's the same story on Thursday. Temperatures might nudge down a degree or 3 here. As the weather system passes by to the north, high temperatures in Phoenix fall back toward the low and middle 80s by the end of the week. This is Friday, but still above seasonal averages. Same story on Saturday, same story on Sunday. Dry conditions and temperatures to remain at least a few degrees above seasonal averages. I'd say highs here in Phoenix anywhere from about 83 to 87. And again, maybe a few passing clouds, but the sky should remain mostly clear. But here comes a week from today. This is Monday, the 10th of November, and that's a pretty impressive ridge out here across the southwest, 588 contour around, and so that means temperatures continue above average. Highs maybe approaching 90 for the warmest desert spots, at least mid to upper 80s here in Phoenix. And you're saying, well, wait, I thought you said there's a pattern change. Well, the first thing to note here is that while right now across North America, the pattern has become more de-amplified, what you can see here is the pattern becomes more amplified. A higher amplitude pattern is taking place across North America as we head into next week with a big trough in the east, a ridge here. But as we go to Tuesday, this is the 11th, that ridge is starting to weaken a little bit here. And there's a trough well off the Pacific Northwest coast and another upper low well to our west. We're going to watch those features as they play out. This is the end of the forecast period, Wednesday, the 12th. Rather impressive trough is coming toward the Pacific Northwest now. And that is a feature that should break down our ridge considerably. And this is what we've been doing the last few days here on the videos. Let's take you a little bit of a jaunt out into fantasy land. We don't normally do this, but I'll explain why we're doing this now. This is out here toward Friday, the 14th of November. Now, a very impressive trough coming into the southwest if this verifies. And I always say if this verifies, and I know we're out here in fantasy land, and we oftentimes chide people in this space for cherry picking some model out at 384 hours. Well, this is not 384 hours. This is day 12. But still, yeah, it's fantasy land, except let's show you this. The synoptic look would certainly bring some rain and mountain snow into much of the west, including the southwest here in Phoenix. And I show this because we're not talking about anything specific, right? We don't care about the specifics of this right now. What we care about is the trend. And for many, many, many runs in a row, the GFS and most of our deterministic model guidance has indicated that a pattern change is occurring out here toward the end of next week. This is the European AI model at the same time, and this is the end of next week. And if this is correct, yes, an upper low is coming into the southwest United States, and yeah, it's a little further west at that time, but the idea of unsettled weather coming into the mix by the end of next week and maybe that following weekend certainly is becoming more probable as each of these model runs goes by and we get a little bit closer each day to this upcoming event. Will this happen? Well, it's way too early to say right now, but this is just a trend that's on models right now, so I just wanted to alert you to that. And we talk about models and model trends here on these videos, so why not bring that to your attention? Speaking of, this is rainfall for Phoenix out through the 17th of November. This is off the GFS ensemble. And again, the trend is out at and beyond 10 days. We're starting to see more of these members lighting up with at least some precipitation amounts here. And the ensemble mean continues to trend up now between about 2 3/10 of an inch, about 1/4 of an inch here. European, same deal. The mean here is trending up and more members are starting to show some precipitation out there. European AI model, same deal. In fact, it shows significantly more precipitation than the GFS and Euro models here, the Euro ensemble. So that's important because, again, these trends that we're looking at indicate a change toward cooler and more unsettled weather, again, out by the end of next week. Temperatures off the national blend of models. Yes, we are above average for much of this week, this weekend, and even into the early part of next week, although you do note the trend is starting to come down here a little bit. We'll probably get rid of those 90-degree days here before too much longer, but way out at the end of that period, it's got highs falling into the low 80s, and I would suggest that if indeed a very deep trough like we saw on the GFS or the Euro AI model there come into the southwest, highs would certainly be well below this, probably down into the 60s or maybe low 70s by the end of next week. And again, that is definitely fall weather around here, and that would bring a welcome relief to this late season warmth that we've been experiencing around here. All right, let's get you a look at the latest CPC guidance. And This is the 8 to 14 day period. This is the period of November 10th through the 16th. If this works out, temperatures still slated here by the CPC guys to favor above average levels. But what you'll note here is the trend on precipitation, which we were well in the below average category, and we've been gradually shifting to the near average. Now even above average precipitation probabilities are beginning to show up across at least western and northwest Arizona. So again, even the CPC guys are starting to look at these model trends and slowly nudging us toward the idea of above average probabilities of precipitation across the Southwest. Again, welcome rainfall and higher elevation snow. We'd love to see that around here. All right, that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you're really enjoying what we do here and you want to support the channel, well, best way to do that is to click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube and make a contribution to us that way. And, or, of course, you can use our PayPal. It's groffshow@gmail.com. That's our PayPal address. It's groffshow@gmail.com for PayPal. Our Venmo is also linked up down below, so check that out. Again, every little bit helps us out, and so we really would appreciate that. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona. Talking about my Michelle, check her out. Blogs, videos, everything Michelle related, Kylie related, Adriana related. It's all linked up down in the description below, so check that out. As is our streaming station, available 24/7, 365. It's called KMGX. We play a ton of music, have a lot of fun over there, so give that a listen. And I want you to check out the Courtroom Files YouTube channel as well. The Courtroom Files on YouTube, courtroomfiles.com for all your Courtroom Files merch. Check it out because A, it's a great channel. It's worth checking out. There is bazillions of hours of content over there, but also because in just maybe an hour and a half or less than that from the time I'm recording this video, you'll get to see me over there hosting TCF Live Monday through Friday starting at 10 a.m. East, 7 a.m. Pacific time. I got thrown off a little bit there because we had the time change. We don't change the clock. So for me, it starts at 8 a.m. And I'll be doing that all this week. Again, filling in for Dan Soul, who is on a well-deserved vacation, and he'll be traveling back here to the Southwest this week. We wish him safe travels, he and his family, but can't wait to have him back here. But I've had a lot of fun filling in, and we're going to have even more fun this week. So it's been a real delight, and I hope you guys will join us over there for TCF Live. And, of course, Sidebar on Thursday night, 8 p.m. East, 5 p.m. Pacific for that as well. All right, all of that having been said, thank you guys so much for watching, all of your continued support. We could not do any of this without you. Please be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there, and you guys have yourselves a beautiful rest of your Monday.